Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I am going to get myself set up here, and I have a friend joining us, hopefully in just a second. Sarah is going to talk with us today. Sarah is a client of mine who is actually a long-distance client of mine, and I just requested that she join our conversation. So hopefully she will hop on here in a minute. And fingers crossed, obviously, always, that technology is on our side. You just never know. Especially with, I think she is here. Especially with Facebook. Okay. Let's see. I think Sarah's hopping on. Just a second. There she is.
Yay!
Hi,
Am I
Sarah.
crooked? Am I sideways or upside? Or
You're sideways. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There you are. Awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on, Sarah.
No problem.
So, y'all, this is Sarah. I was just saying that I was inviting you to hop on. So, Sarah and Sarah today, you got both of us. So, I invited Sarah on so that she could share her journey a little bit with you guys through the Burn, Fat, and Feast program, where she was before the program, where she is now. And I love these because I just ask questions and let you guys talk, and I don't really know where you're going with it, and I love that. So I'm going to let you kind of take it away, but just tell us a little bit more about who you are, mom, wife, etc. And then we'll go from there.
Okay. First of all, my neighbors decided to cut down trees today, so it sounds like lumberjacks are just hanging out in the house. So if you can't hear me, let me know.
You're good.
And to all my work friends, I'm off work today, so I'm not playing hooky. So first of all, my name is Sarah Greer, and I'm originally from Knoxville, Tennessee. Powell, actually, which Sarah, I had no idea that your husband went to Powell, so it's a small world.
I know, right?
It's hilarious. And 5 years ago, I moved to Charleston, South Carolina for work, and I've been here ever since. And I love, 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 love Charleston. Of course, I miss all my friends and family, but this place is awesome. And I don't have any kids, been married for 7 years. So my job is, it's kind of hard to determine what each day is going to bring. So historically, I have really struggled with planning and knowing what I can and can't do day to day to day. So sometimes I'm like, I won't have a chance to heat up food. Some days I'm like, I don't have a chance to even bring my own food. So that has been an excuse I've made for the past probably 9 years of my life. So that's just about me. And no kids, no stress like that. But my nephews are in town this week, so kudos to all you people with kids, because it's exhausting.
Yeah, a whole nother level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I love that you mentioned that. So work can be kind of crazy, food and all those issues. So you kind of touched on this, but tell us a little bit more about where you were before you decided to do the Burn, Fat, and Feast program.
Okay, so I have yo-yo dieted probably since my late 20s. I didn't have any issues with weight up until then, but all the fun and drinking and partying and pizza late night and all kinds of stuff really caught up with me, and my metabolism just shut down at 30. So I tried a lot of different things. I am a Class A, type A perfectionist, and I will do every piece of the program to a T until I get to where I want to be, and then I'm like, sweet, I'm done. I'm going to go back and do everything that I did before, and I gain it all and more back, and it's been pretty consistent. And that perfectionism of the diet is annoying to everyone around me, because I'll tell that quick story. I have a friend who said, she was like, I'm so tired of your diet, Sarah. We went out on the lake one day, and I counted my grapes, and I literally had 12 grapes to eat. So I had my little cup of grapes while everybody else was having like hot dogs and stuff, and I was eating my grapes in the corner, and she was like, can I have a grape? And I was like, I mean, I love you, but I only have 12. No, I'm sorry, you can't have a grape. And she was like, I will never forget that, Sarah. You would not give me that flipping grape. So that's how bad I get. And literally my family's like, oh God, what are you doing? My husband's like, great, here's another plan. But I felt so uncomfortable in my own body. The way I put it is, I felt like I was in one of those sumo wrestler costumes. I was stuck in the middle of it. Everything just felt like it was not my body, and it was just puffy and huge. And there was no rhyme or reason to what I was eating. Horrible nutrition wise. We'd eat out pretty much every dinner. And that would include a couple glasses of wine and sometimes even dessert and appetizer. It was just very, very, very out of control. Fast food for lunch. It was just bad. Tons of sodium, tons of fat, tons of bad carbs. And it got to the point where I was like, I don't feel good. And for me, it was less vanity and more, I just feel like crap, which for me, it was a first, because let's be honest, every other diet, it was complete. I just want to look better. Right. That was part of it this time, but I just felt gross. So I reached out to my Facebook friends, and I was like, listen, guys, I've got a workout. I started a boot camp workout in December. I loved it, but I knew good and well I could not get anywhere with that workout if I wasn't doing something on the nutrition side. So I reached out and I was like, does anybody have a plan that has worked for them? Not only worked, but is lasting, because that's the key for me. I do great and then I fall off. So Lauren Graves, a sorority sister of mine, reached out. And she's like, I've got this plan. It worked great for me. And I put this in my notes, but Lauren has always been a fit girl, always been what I consider super tiny, in my opinion. So I was like, okay, well, it worked for Lauren, but her and I are just totally different. We're totally different builds. We're totally different everything. Yeah. So I did a lot of research, and I asked Lauren a ton of questions, but she was very, very gracious and answered all of those. And at that point, I was like, I researched everything about it, the carb cycling, the intermittent fasting, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give this a try. So that's what brought me to Burn, Fat, and Feast.
Yeah, that's awesome. Actually, Lauren was just on here, and she's
good,
proud of you,
hey, girl.
She's so proud of you.
She's awesome.
She is amazing. And it's funny that you say that about Lauren, because Lauren has an amazing physical transformation. I know mentally she has a huge transformation too through the program, but physically she had a huge transformation. And you're right. Lauren was one of those that came to me and she's like, all right, I'll work out. Like I work out already. What can this do for me? And so she obviously has seen those changes as you have. So, okay. What made you say, other than you just don't feel good, what made you say, okay, I'm going to do this? And why the Burn, Fat, and Feast program? Was it talking to Lauren more, researching? What was it exactly?
Well, yeah, first of all, I just felt horrible. Second of all, I was very intrigued by the fasting and the number of calories, to be honest, because everything I've done has pretty much been a calorie deficit. Yeah. And that's why I do it so perfectly. And that's why I fall off so easily, because I am literally hungry. Yep. And the cravings are out of control. So I was very intrigued by the fasting. I don't have time. I mean, I don't have kids, but my job is just all over. It's crazy. So that intrigued me. Once I did the research, my thought had always been, your metabolism shuts down when you fast. That's the last thing I need. So I really looked into it, and what I found was the complete polar opposite. It actually does your body so much good. Yeah. Fasting, coupled with the fact that the food, I mean, on my regular macro calorie days, I'm close to 2,000 calories. That's insane. And so I knew, I was like, that's how it could work for me. That's how it could be lasting. Yeah. And also the community, the fact that I have to have a little bit of accountability. That really intrigued me too. And of course, Lauren's stamp of approval was huge, knowing somebody who did it and it worked. And she's in safety too. So the fact that she could manage that, I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's probably very key for you, especially having a job where it's all over the place, knowing that she's a mom and has a crazy job, and obviously has to be then successful with it too. And you're so right, because I mean, so many women come to me all the time. They're like, I can't diet. Well, right, because exactly what you said, you put yourself in a calorie deficit. Nobody wants to stay there long term. That is not a long term successful program at all. And you kind of hit the nail on the head there. That's what I tell people all the time when they're thinking about joining, is that we're not in a calorie deficit all the time. And that's not how you can live any type of lifestyle at all. Like you said, 2,000 calories probably, with some people listening right now, scares them to death.
Yeah.
Because they're used to eating like 1,000 calories maybe, and that's it. 2,000 calories is like, Hallelujah. You know, you can
I know.
mentally eat and still get results. So I love that you mentioned that. And, you know, although we don't count calories, we're mindful of our calories to make sure that we get plenty of them in the program. So, all right, talk to us a little bit more about how this fit in your life, because truly everybody is different in their daily schedules, you know, what they have going on outside of work, family, and that sort of thing. So how did you see that Burn, Fat, and Feast fit in your schedule?
Okay. So getting started was, I know you like for us to be honest. So getting started, I was very, 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 very overwhelmed. It was macro counting was new to me. All of that was new. Fasting, every bit of this was new. So one thing I do want to throw out there is if anybody is thinking about this, definitely ask questions, but the community is there for questions and answers. Do not feel stupid. Do not feel like you're the only one who asks questions. I guarantee every time I've posted a question after that, people have been like, I've been wondering that too.
Yep.
So it takes a little bit to get the program down, but once you have it down, it is like, it's just in your head. Mm-hmm. So anybody that's thinking about it, don't be overwhelmed by the prep week and by a lot of that stuff. Use that time to ask questions of our Facebook community, because everybody there will have an answer and there's no stupid questions. But second, the way it fit into my lifestyle is I really, first of all, there's a feast day. The feast day is eat pretty much whatever you want. I don't count my macros that day. I chill out. I do whatever. I have a glass of wine. I have a margarita, whatever I want, a burger. And I know that every week it can be done. I don't have to wait till the end of a month. I don't have to wait till this elusive day to cheat. And it happens every week. That way I don't fall off track. For me, Saturday is perfect. But the cool thing about the plan is if you don't want your feast day to be on Saturday, you move it. Mm-hmm. Hey, Wesley. I've got a little ginger nephew here this week. So you can move your days around. So for me, the plan, as you start it, it is helpful to stay day to day to day, but every day is different. You don't get bored. There's a day where you do an AM fast. All this stuff sounded scary, but for me in sales on Fridays, the fast day is a godsend because I don't have to worry about prepping and my breakfast, taking my lunch, packing it. I go. I should probably take a little bit of a lunch break for my brain, but I've been working right through and I've gotten a whole lot done. So in sales, it's actually been a godsend. And for the workouts are great because they're so fast. I do my boot camp workout, but it's the cool thing about this program is you can do that. If you have a workout you love, just continue to do it, and you don't do the Burn, Fat, and Feast workout that day. Yep. And every day that Burn, Fat, and Feast has in its program, the nutrition goes right with the workout. So if you switch everything up, you can pair everything with what it needs to be paired with, and it's actually super, super easy and super movable to whatever your schedule holds. So I went out of town to Boston for my corporate office for a week during this program. I was scared to death because for me, it wasn't a comfortable place. I didn't have a kitchen. It's the first time in my life I've ever done this. I stuck to plan the entire time, and that's just insane. I still had drinks. I had a burger one night. I went out and had some pasta, but you can make it work. You just have to make better decisions at other parts of the day. So for me, it's not a bad thing to do these things. I am so much better now than I was before. So every single day is better than it was before, even if it's not perfect. Yeah. And so that's what keeps me going. And also a big, big thing for me is that you don't weigh. You don't suggest weighing in every day, every week. You weigh in when you start, you weigh in when you finish at the end of the 6 or 7 weeks. And that is huge because for me, when I killed it one week and I did great and I saw either a stagnant number or an increase in weight, I would be like, give up. It'd be give up time for me because I'd be like, man, I did everything exactly right and I see nothing. So I had no idea what my weight was doing week to week to week, but I was staying on plan. And if I had a mess up, it is what it is. At the end of 6 weeks, 7 weeks, you're going to see a difference if for the most part you're doing the plan and the program. So it's so cool that it works. It just flat out works, and it's not hard.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing when people are not sure about the program like you were, it was, a million questions, as you should have questions. I love it when people have questions, but it's just not knowing. It's that fear of the unknown of just not knowing, okay, is this going to work for me? Is it going to work for my schedule? How much planning is involved? And I know it probably means more coming from someone like you than it does for me, because I created the program, but it has been set up to fit your life, to simplify your life. And exactly like you said, I love how honest you are about saying in the beginning, it was an adjustment. In the beginning, it's like, okay, you got to change the way that you think about food, how you work out, when you work out, how you eat with each workout. So yeah, it is an adjustment in the beginning, but it truly does become just part of what you do. And what I tell people all the time is, yes, you can change whenever you need to. If you need to change a day, change a day. So it is super flexible, and I'm glad that you see that it's flexible, and so many other clients have too in the community. So, all right, tell us a little bit about your results.
Okay. After I'm in Burn, Fat, and Feast Elite right now, so I'm on week 4 of that. But for Burn, Fat, and Feast, the first 6 weeks, I lost 11 pounds and 13 and a half inches. Awesome. And it was I was blown away by those results. I was like 1.8 pounds a week, and I still have a lot to lose, but it's become so much more than the weight and the inches and the clothes that are fitting. And it's like I wore a sleeveless shirt to the boot camp the other night, and I was like actually comfortable. And that's something silly, but that's huge for me. Yeah. And I've got a closet of clothes that I haven't been able to wear in a long time, and I'm starting to go back into it. So the shrinking of my body has been insane. It's been more than the weight loss. It feels like my entire sumo wrestler body that I felt like I had was just popped, and all the air just got let out of it. So I think it's a very healthy weight loss program. I don't think it's too fast, but for me, I've seen huge physical results, more in the inches than anything, in a pretty fast time frame.
Yeah. So you're on the Elite program, for those of you that don't know, is the follow-up. So you do the first 7 weeks with your prep week, first 6 weeks of the program, then you can move into the Elite program. You don't have to. Most clients do, because you continue to learn. And actually, Sarah, why don't you tell them a little bit about that? Because I always say you keep learning in Elite. You get new workouts. There's different types of cycles as far as intermittent fasting and carb cycling. But tell them a little bit about what you've experienced in Elite, different from the first round.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, when you start this program, you start and you're in our Facebook accountability group, and you will start with other people. There's people, Karen and Janelle, I don't know them. I've never met them, but we are on the same week to week program, and we have each other's back. If you're having a good day, there's kudos. If you're having a bad day, it's keep going. You got this. Start over tomorrow. But every 2 weeks you get a new program. So every 2 weeks of Burn, Fat, and Feast, you have a new workout and nutrition program. Every 2 weeks of Elite, you have a new workout and nutrition program. So what that does is, once we transition off of Elite, we have 6 different 2-week plans that we can rotate through the entire year. If we know our schedule's coming up and we need 2 fasts, we can throw it in there. So for me, it's given me different options and different opportunities. And also, for me, I know which ones are now making me feel better, are better fit for me, better fit for my body. And that's been cool too, because it's not necessarily, you do a great job with it, because you don't have to do anything exactly like you have it planned. It can be changed, and it's completely pliable for an individual. And I think for me, I have all these workouts now that I have some that I like better than others, because some are really hard, but that's good, because I'm never going to get tired of them. They're constantly changing. I can mix one workout from Burn, Fat, and Feast on an Elite nutrition day. It's just, everything can be totally it can be pliable. It can be you can move it around. It's just very open. And I love that, because for a perfectionist, it's so many different options. It's not just one thing I'm doing for the rest of my life, because I am never going to stick to that. I will never stick to the exact same thing all the time. I'm going to get tired of it. I've done it before. So, my boot camp workout, I absolutely love it. And I know you guys have seen that DFit One group. If you're in Charleston, look it up because it's super fun. But I love the mixture of all the different things. So some days are cardio, some days are arms, some days are bar, some days are Pilates. It's so different. And for me, that's another thing that keeps it real and keeps it exciting, because I don't feel like I'm on a diet. I feel like I'm just going through life. Because one of the biggest things, and I put in my notes, was another reason I felt like I needed to do this is because I was retreating from hanging out with friends and family, and because I felt so uncomfortable with myself, and that is not me. I am a social person. I want to be around people, and that was real red flag time. That was sirens are going off when I am not wanting to hang out with my friends and family. So I wanted to, but I didn't feel comfortable. So this really changed everything in my life, and it's amazing.
Yeah, you're right. The reason that it's set up to change is because that's life. I mean, nobody wants to be bored in life. Life changes. Right. We need to change with it. And this program is part of your life. And so, yeah, you shouldn't do the same workout all the time. And so within the flexibility of your eating schedule, you have the flexibility of the workouts. And so that's just perfect. And you're right. Yeah. You can mix and match as you see fit, wherever you are, whenever, you know. So, okay, Sarah, can you tell us a little bit, since you do have a history of starting, stopping, is it the flexibility of the program that you feel like why you're sticking with this more than you have anything else in the past, or what? Can you speak to that a little bit further?
Sure. It's definitely flexibility. It's definitely the Facebook community. And it's definitely the fact that I am not limiting any type of food. It is a dairy-free kind of zone, but for me, I truly think I had a problem with it to begin with, so that's not been hard at all. And on feast day, I'll throw in a little cheese. It is what it is. So for me, that's not a problem. But I am eating carbs. I am eating meat, red meat. You know, I'm eating eggs and bacon. I'm eating all of these things that historically you tell yourself you can't have, and I just feel like I'm eating food. My husband said it best. He's like, "You've done a lot of things, but this is the best food that we've had on any of it." Like, because we're eating real food. I can eat red meat. I can eat, butter. And so it's most realistic because I don't feel like I'm limited. Yeah. And for me, that's where it's at, because my crave meter will go up like crazy. I'll have a stressful day and I'll go right back to Mexican food and margaritas. And I've had many, many stressful days since I've been on this program, but I just don't feel that same hunger craving, which has been interesting. So, because that has really changed. The sleep patterns are huge for me. I was not sleeping at all. And I know that was part of my weight gain. And I'm sleeping at least 7 to 8 hours a night, and I'm just making it happen now. And that it's just an overall better feeling, mind, body, and spirit when you are sleeping at night.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you've made that mindset change too, which is huge. And that's typically why women will stop, start, is because they think, okay, I just have to eat a certain way. And they haven't made that mindset switch of changing things across the board. And just like I said, we talk about sleep. We talk about so many other things that fit into the wellness puzzle. It's not just eating a certain way. And yes, although I do recommend that you go dairy and gluten-free, there are reasons behind that. And we talk about that in the program. I do have clients that don't go dairy-free, or like I said, have dairy on feast day. I have dairy occasionally. It's okay. So it's not, I like to say this is not a no, you can't have it program. It might be a not now, but later type of thing. Exactly. So we're not saying, oh, you're totally limited from your cheesecake that you want either, but maybe not today. So I love that. So I am super excited to see where you go from here. So before we hop off, so every month women come to me and they ask me questions, and they are kind of on the fence about whether or not they should join, whether or not this is the right thing for them or not. What would you say to somebody who comes and is asking questions or is on the fence?
I would say don't hesitate to, first of all, ask questions, but this could be the thing that finally works for you. So for me, I truly feel like it is now my thing. I'm going to do it. Nobody asks me about my diet at this point. I'm just doing it, and it's becoming part of life. Don't be overwhelmed by the words fasting and carb cycling. Don't be overwhelmed. Those are actually just, if you research it, you'll see. But don't be scared by the specifics of the macros. Don't be scared by any of this. It becomes a normal part of life, and it's not an obsessive type of thing. Also, reach out to me with any questions you have. I will tell you every good and bad I've had. I've had, probably more bad days than good, but it doesn't matter because the motto is progress over perfection. So for a perfectionist, that's exactly what I needed to hear. You're going to have good days and bad days in life, guys. It's just life. So this plan works for that. It is not going to be where every morning Sarah is going to send you a message saying, I didn't see your workout. Where are you? What are you doing? Why didn't you do it today? You know, you're not going to there's not going to be that super crazy pressure. The accountability group is there for that, for accountability. You post. If you don't post the whole week, though, somebody's going to reach out and say, hey, are you still there? Because that's what it's for. But it truly is something you can do. And just trust me, everybody knows that is on my Facebook, period. I'm not somebody that promotes anything unless I truly, truly believe in it. And this has really, truly, truly worked for me. And I truly believe it could work for anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say there's not a one size fits all to fitness, nutrition, wellness at all. There's not. And I truly believe there's not a one size fits all. And that's why this works, is because people use it differently. You love your boot camp workouts and you incorporate them into our workouts. I have some people who do their nutrition differently. And so this is not you have to fit a mold. There's not a one size fits all, and it is made to actually mesh with you, your schedule, your life, your situation. And I think that when people are hesitant, they're afraid that you have to be super duper strict, and that's not the way it was written.
Nope.
And we do say that all the time in the community: progress over perfection. You make it work for whatever happens. If you wake up that morning and you're just not feeling something that certain day, or low carb day, or whatever, you can tweak it. And so, I think that when people see the success like you have and continued success month after month, that's why, is because they have learned how to make it their own.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay, Sarah, thank you so much. This was awesome.
You're welcome.
You have, like, a wealth of information. Next time somebody needs to know about the program, I'm just going to send it to you.
Go for it. You have to shut me up as opposed to get me to talk.
Oh, no, it's awesome. It was perfect. Thank you so much for taking time out. I know you have family in town. We really appreciate you hopping on today.
No problem.
I will leave the link below if you guys want to go to the website, check it out. Please reach out to Sarah if you have more questions. She is obviously happy to help you. And our next round starts April 2nd. So if you are thinking about it, you've got some time to think about it. Ask questions, reach out to anybody that you know that has done the program. Like I said, Sarah's a great one to reach out to. Even if you don't know her, she'll be happy to help.
Absolutely.
And April 2nd is the next date, our next start date. So that will be our prep week for our next round. So thank you so much, Sarah. Wesley,
you are welcome.
Ready to go.
Yeah, clearly. Have a good one.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.